When was the last time you paused? Not to scroll, not to check the time, not to think about what's missing, but to truly appreciate what you already have. Most people can't remember, not because they're ungrateful, but because life rarely gives us space to stop. This story begins with someone who had everything they once prayed for and still felt empty. There was a man named Elias. Every morning, Elias woke up before sunrise. He rushed through his coffee, checked his phone, answered messages, scanned headlines, and stepped into another long day. From the outside, his life looked good. A steady job, a roof over his head, food on the table, people who cared about him. But Elias lived in a constant state of not enough. Not enough money yet, not enough time, not enough success, not enough recognition. His mind was always somewhere else, in the future, in the next goal, the next upgrade, the next version of life he believed would finally make him happy. And because of that, he never noticed the life he was already living. One evening, on his way home, the power went out across the city. No lights, no internet, no phone signal. At first, Elias was irritated. His plans were ruined, his routine broken. But with nothing else to do, he sat by his window. For the first time in years, the city was quiet. No buzzing notifications, no screens pulling his attention, just darkness and silence. Then he noticed something: the sky. Without the city lights, the stars were clearer than he had ever seen them. Hundreds of tiny lights scattered across the darkness. Elias couldn't remember the last time he looked up, and in that moment, something strange happened. He felt calm. We are born knowing how to appreciate. As children, we find joy in simple things: a warm meal, a laugh, a quiet moment. But somewhere along the way, we forget. We're taught to chase more success, more money, more validation. And without realizing it, we start postponing happiness. I'll be grateful when I reach this goal. I'll relax when life gets easier. I'll appreciate things once I have more. But life doesn't wait for us to feel ready. There's an old story from ancient Rome. A powerful general returned from battle, celebrated as a hero. Crowds cheered his name. Wealth and honor followed him everywhere. But during these celebrations, a servant stood behind him and whispered one sentence again and again: "Remember, this will pass." Not to diminish his success, but to remind him not to forget what truly mattered. Because even at the highest point, nothing is permanent. And that includes the good things we take for granted. Think about this for a moment. The ability to breathe freely, to walk without pain, to hear music, to taste food, to rest safely at night. These are not guaranteed, yet we rarely acknowledge them until they're gone. Appreciation isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing that even within struggle, there are moments of grace quietly supporting us. That night, Elias slept without his phone. The next morning, the power returned. But something inside him had shifted. He didn't change his job. He didn't suddenly become rich. Life didn't magically become easier. But he started noticing the warmth of sunlight through the window, the taste of his coffee, the sound of laughter from a nearby apartment, small moments that had always been there. Appreciation requires presence, and presence is uncomfortable for many people, because when we slow down, we're forced to face our fears, our doubts, our unresolved emotions, so we stay busy, distracted, always chasing the next thing. But appreciation doesn't ask you to stop dreaming. It asks you to stop overlooking your life while chasing it. Here's something you can try tonight. Before you sleep, name 3 things you usually ignore: a place you feel safe, a person who supports you, a small comfort you rely on daily. Don't rush it. Feel it. This isn't about positivity. It's about awareness. And awareness changes everything. Most people don't realize how good certain moments were until they're just memories. The ordinary days, the simple routines, the quiet evenings, they become precious only after they're gone. But you don't have to wait for loss to learn appreciation. You can choose it now. So let me ask you again, when was the last time you paused to truly appreciate what you have? Not because life is perfect, but because this moment, right now, is part of your story. And one day, you'll look back and realize this was a chapter worth appreciating.